Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my video review for the entire series of Breaking Bad now that it has finally concluded. Okay, so since we just saw the end of Breaking Bad, I decided, I was doing episode by episode reviews for all of season 5. If you guys are interested in any of those, feel free to check them out in my channel. Also review the finale of season 4, and I've done some other videos on the series, as going through it and everything, discussion topics and that. But I felt like now that the series is finally over, for me personally, even just for my own enjoyment, I want to do a full series recap review of what I felt of the series as a whole. Since Breaking Bad, of course, 5 seasons, which kind of turned into 6 because season 5 was split into 2 8-episode parts or portions, but we'll look at it as 5 seasons because technically AMC has listed it that way. So I want to do a cumulative review of it. Let's get started with it. What I'm going to do is we'll go season by season through the 5 seasons, and for sake of time and just to do kind of a summation, I'll just touch on certain things from each season, kind of give my ideas on the feel of the season and sort of the overall series as a whole as we're going through it. So pretty much the first thing to say, I think, with regards to Breaking Bad, with doing a cumulative review like this, is that this show has the most profound character development of any TV series I have ever seen. Going from season 1 to the state that Walter White, Jesse Pinkman, Skyler, Saul, all these characters, Gus Fring, everybody, is at from the beginning of the series to the end. Every single character is in a completely different state from season 1 to season 5. There is not one character in this show that has not evolved and changed tremendously from the events of the series. And I think that is something very special to see, that amount of character development, that amount of change. Especially with regards to Walter White. So the beginning of the series, we start off, Walter White, of course, is basically a good law-abiding citizen, your average Joe, so to speak, smart, intelligent, but in the market, just a high school teacher. He's not rich, he's not super successful. He had opportunities to be, most people do, but in reality, when it comes to economics, not everybody can make it big. Most people are going to wind up being middle class or somewhere in the middle. Of course, finds out he has cancer and that he doesn't have long to live, and that there's a very high chance he will not survive very long. With that, his life is just flipped upside down. He realizes that he's not going to be able to take care of his family. He's not going to be able to do all of these things that a man is supposed to do, which is one of the main themes of the series for me. When Gus, for example, asks Walter, "What does a man do, Walter?" A man provides. That's what he expects him to do, and that's what he does for his family. Even when a man is not loved, a man is not respected, a man provides. Walter White in this series basically is stripped of his ability to do so because of his cancer. He knows he's not going to be able to provide for his family, and he's going to leave them in a bad financial situation so that they basically can't survive on their own, or are going to be living a very sort of poor type lifestyle, or completely poor basically. So with that, of course, he makes some crazy decisions and decides through his brother-in-law Hank that he could make a lot of money if he gets into the meth business. Meets Jesse Pinkman, and it all starts from there. So we go through the first season, and that season for me is a good season. I think it's interesting with this series that as you look at each season, which we will, I think you'll see, at least with me personally, I feel like the show literally did get better and better and better and better each season from 1 to 5, significantly increasing each season. It never decreased. It started at a certain level, and with Tuco and Walt and Jesse and them just getting started, which was exciting, which was lots of fun, and it was good stuff. And it just stepped up the game every season. We go from Tuco, which was a great season. I liked, the where Walt goes in and this is not meth, and then he puts it down and the whole damn place explodes. And lots of great stuff in the first season with Tuco and getting to know our characters and cast and everybody. Moving on from there to season 2. So season 2, where do we go from here? Walt's starting to get some money. He's starting to get a little bit of respect in the market. He's starting to get some cred, so to speak, I guess you could call it. And then in season 2, we meet some new characters. We meet, for Jesse, he meets Jane, who's a very cool character, an interesting love interest for him. And then we have Gus Fring, who was introduced into the fray. We had Saul, I think, was Saul introduced in season 1 or season 2? I can't remember, I'd have to look it up exactly, but he becomes a very prominent character in the second season especially. And that season for me, again, just stepping it up better than the first season. We see the situation with Jane be resolved, and even elements of that tied into the finale, where Walt mentions in Ozymandias, I believe, or Tuhaj-Lee, one of the two, to Jesse that basically he could have saved Jane if he really wanted to, chose not to. So second season, better than the first, I think, my opinion. Going from there, we get more into the whole Gus Fring organization, more into all the details with that. We meet Gale as a character, another great character, and it just gets even more interesting. Mike comes into the fray, another amazing character, lots of exciting stuff with Gus and what happens with that, and not being able to totally trust him, and Walt working for him, but still, is he, trustworthy? Hank's got some good stuff in that season too, of course, and just lots of great moments in season 3 with Walt becoming more sort of, at that point, it kind of becoming like, can he get out? Why is he still doing it? And basically here, in my opinion, through the series, is where he went from doing it to try to provide for his family to doing it for himself and kind of being locked in to feel like he can't stop doing it because he's in a bad situation. So, of course, the whole Gus situation, him and Walt have a rocky type relationship, and the question is Gus going to kill Walter? Is Walt going to find a way to kill Gus? What's going to happen? Who's going to do it first? What's going to happen with Gale? And of course, all that gets resolved within seasons 3 and 4. So all of those events come through, and again, season 4, it's sort of like the climax of the whole Gus Fring situation. The cartel stuff was amazing. And then we finally see it all resolved at the end of season 4 with what sticks out to me as one of the best scenes in all of Breaking Bad, which is sort of where Walt defeats the his arch enemy Gus in a way. I mean, if you think of one general bad guy for all of Breaking Bad, if you look at just season count, Gus was in it for 3 seasons, right? Tuco won, Jack and his men won, really. Was he just one, or was Jack and his men in season 4? I don't think so. So I think just season 5, Jack and his men were in it. So Gus was really like your main villain. So that was a huge event at the end of season 4 when Walt took him out. I really like the way they did it. I like the way they shot it. I like the way they involved the cartel. And that was just, oh man, that sticks out to me as one of the best moments in all of Breaking Bad. One of the best moments in all of television I've ever seen, for sure. And then, of course, again, stepping it up. How can they surpass season 4? That was so epic to see the end of that. How can they take it to another level? Well, we have Mike, situation with him, between him and Walt. You've got Jesse, who's sort of torn in between. We've got Lydia, who becomes a very prominent character. We've got Todd, very interesting character. And then, of course, kind of coming in from nowhere, Jack and his men sort of becoming the final big bads for Walter to have to defeat in order to save Jesse, save himself, and his family after he's gone, basically. So all in all, one season after another, just getting better and better and better. Nice tie-ins all the way through from the end to the beginning. Characters Skinny Pete Badger, being involved. And all in all, I have to say, this series it's pretty damn close to perfect all the way through. I think it's one of the best television series ever made. In terms of my favorite, I've always kind of said that The Walking Dead is pretty much my favorite. And I've done versus videos, Breaking Bad versus The Walking Dead. But at this point I have to say that after Breaking Bad has ended, and we've seen how it all came down to 5 seasons, you know, for me they're both like equal. I look at them both as equal now, because the ending of Breaking Bad is so epic, you know. When you look at these seasons like this and you consider all the change the characters go through, it's really a matter of preference. I think in quality, Breaking Bad in terms of writing and in terms of just all of the the planning that they put into it, you know, the characters, the actors, the scenes, out of chronological order scenes, you know, the complexity, the just all of these elements coming together, the feelings, the emotions, the themes, the messages, all of these things make it, in my opinion, pretty much the greatest drama series ever, as basically as good as it gets. I mean, there's lots of others too that have been on over the years, The Wire and different stuff people will talk about as Lost, or this was the best, or that was the best. It doesn't really get any better, in my opinion, than Breaking Bad. It's basically as good as it can get. And, you know, that's pretty much all I got to say about Breaking Bad. As a cumulative review, looking at it season by season, it's the type of thing that, you know, if you have some time, you could go through and watch. And I know people on my channel have told me they hadn't checked it out. They saw one of my videos talking about it and they wanted to check it out. They watched the first couple episodes, and before they knew it, within 2 weeks, they had seen every single episode all the way through, either on Netflix or DVDs or whatever they had to do to check it out. They did, and they don't regret it. And you know, I really am going to miss Breaking Bad. I think it is like as close to a perfect show as you could possibly get, and the replay value on it I think is insane, because as you watch it, it's so well planned and it's so intelligent to see all the different themes and the characters and how things come about, and then how they're resolved at the end and how it all ties into together. It's brilliant. It's a thrill ride. It's emotionally involving when you get emotionally attached to these characters, and all the way through, right up until the end, it does not disappoint. Breaking Bad, in other words, is the shit. It's awesome. So anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say about it, about the series as a whole. I've got a couple more ideas for some Breaking Bad videos, not too many, just a few. Maybe do one talking about where I think the characters will go after the series, what will happen with them after, even though we'll never see it, but kind of an interesting topic to think about, and maybe some others. So if you guys have any video suggestions for Breaking Bad, I'd like to do them soon, because the show did just end, before people start to forget about it or things like that. But in my opinion, when it comes to this series, it's kind of unforgettable. It's really that good. It's really that good. Anyway, I'll call it here. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev, and I'm saying peace.